Hi everyone, welcome to my channel. My name is Humna and I recently started sharing these Art as Ibadat sessions which help me to connect to the divine energy and make my practice more conscious and mindful as I observe and look through nature as my inspiration. I started doing these sessions in the hope that you too will be inspired to look at the beauty that has been created around us by the divine and maybe stop, think, connect, and be able to create from that what already exists around us. In today's session, I'll be using these flowers that I had, which are all dried up. It reminded me of death, the fear of death that we carry within ourselves. So I picked up every flower, placed it around me, tried to connect to it, look at the forms, try to understand how the leaves fall. Give it a minute or two, just place them, just hold them. It reminds me of how when somebody is dying or is on the verge of crossing over to the other side, how we, nurture them, take care of them, do our best to make it easier for them to cross over. It is that attachment we have, we want to kind of give them the best that we can. So in these moments that I was picking each flower up and looking at it, I was trying to build a connection as they were leaving. And what is it that they've learned in their life in this physical realm? So in the beginning, I actually thought I'll draw all of them. But then for some reason, I was very attracted towards this one piece. And I started observing how it had curled, how it looked beautiful, how it sort of separated from that what was holding it. Something which actually cradled it. If you look at the stick, the stem that it is coming out on, there's a brown colored leaf around it. It is something that was holding it from birth. But as it moves towards the next phase of its life, it separates itself from that what gave it birth, what nurtured it, what held it. Sometimes we have to let go of those that we feel comfortable with for us to move into the next realm of life. It is that attachment towards death, towards change, growth, that we all feel within ourselves. And so beautifully this flower teaches us that even though you are still connected to that what gives you birth, that what holds you, you can still choose to change the direction of your life, because that is where you're meant to be going. Sometimes things aren't in our control, or maybe they're never in our control, and control is an illusion. I always start with that what makes me happy when I create. And so as you can see in the video, I start working with the pencil, creating the leaves of the flower, because that is what was attracting me in that moment. I find the curls and the turning points, the forms, always catch my eye. It's that dried feeling I wanted to kind of work with. It's very important to play with the form, to allow it to sort of just come to life. But then also remember that it is your eyes that is creating the vision of whatever it is that you are creating. So don't hold too tightly on what you are seeing, because there's a lot that you are feeling also in that moment. And when you're doing conscious art, or art, creating art from your subconscious mind, it's very important to allow your feelings to flow in also. And that is when you align yourself to the mind, soul, and then that's what your body picks up. It's always a good idea to go slow, especially when you're adding the colors. Once you've got the form ready with the pencil, there can be this urge, or there can be this sense of excitement of adding the color. Hold yourself before you add the color. Hold yourself, because it's really important to understand that patience is something that we aren't born with. It's a muscle that we have to work with. And the more patient you are with creating your piece, the slower, more observing, you give it more time, you build a deeper connection with what you're creating. And that is magic. That is magic, what happens when you let things become one with you. So it's not just the flow that you are following, but you are actually becoming the flow itself. Details are really important in a piece, but again, also understand that when you're drawing something from the subconscious mind, sometimes it's not the details that you're trying to capture, it's the feeling of that detail that you're wanting to get to. So don't fixate too much on that what is visible. Just try to understand that this is the essence. We can't capture something, or we can't make anything more perfect than what it is. So might as well enjoy the imperfections and let them come through. It's a great reminder for all of us to also know that, as we move forward in life, we're all changing, we're all growing, we're all becoming something. And it might not be looking pretty or, feeling beautiful, but the truth is that every stage of our life reminds us of a phase that we have to go through in life to get to the other side. Nothing happens overnight, so it's important to acknowledge that the beauty that you are born with will always be there, and the beauty that you are changing in the physical world will only be seen by those who choose to see it. There can be a lot of moments where you fight with yourself and want to make it pretty, but it's important to acknowledge that death or moving forward might not be a pretty process actually. There's a lot of pain involved in growth. There's a lot of letting go. And it's okay to feel that way. I always take a break between the pencil work and the coloring because it refreshes my mind. And also I highly advise that you take a break from when you want to start doing the background, because when you try to do everything in one go, it's very overwhelming. No matter how tiny this piece is, it's still very overwhelming, and it's nice to be kind to yourself. And as I always say, my storytelling is like the major part of my pieces. As I start drawing the background, I wanted to remember and celebrate what it must have felt to the stem to be straight and growing upwards. And then I realized that these are these attachments that we have. They're kind of like roots or something that holds the flower. And we're holding on to that beauty as it wants to move forward. We want to hold on, but there's also that tightness, that not wanting to let go when death happens. But there's beauty, you see, in the little spaces. I've tried to add this color in the net, just to kind of say that attachment is also love. But the love can be actually very suffocating and not allow the flower to move to the next realm. And so it's important to understand that those ties have to move away for the flower to become that what it's meant to. And as we align ourselves and let go and stop holding on to these roots and attachments of this world, we feel freer and we move towards the sky and we move towards that where we are meant to go to in the world of the spirit. I hope that this video helps you to see the beauty in letting go to attachments that hold us from flying, from becoming, from freeing our spirit to the next realm. I hope that you start seeing death as a way the soul moves into the next world and not hold on to the idea of a person, of a being, and allow them to be free and not be with you, but be within you. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it.